Today, I'm going to guarantee that I can show you how to win in a geographic farm first by making it profitable, and then second by showing you how to get to 20% market share of the gross commission and of the sales for the rest of your career. But first, let's address the elephant in the room. Why does a geographic farming, get a bad rap? Why is the failure rate of the real estate agents who try it out so high? In the Tom Ferry coaching community that I'm a part of, there's some wildly successful geographic farmers, and there's a bunch of people who have failed miserably and won't even touch it with a 10-foot pole. What's up with that? So after spending the last 8 years, I think, that I've now been a Tom Ferry coach, trying to figure out how does this geographic farm work, what works, what doesn't, personally helping my wife and father-in-law with a wildly successful geographic farm today. But when I met them as clients back in the day, they had geographic farm for 2 straight years with direct mail and didn't make a sale. But here we are, fast forward, they're wildly successful with it. I've personally blown 2 farms myself and, working on the 3rd one here in Solana Beach. I'm coaching 60, 65 agents right now across the country, some with some success, some with failure. So what's the deal, right? So I wrote down 5 reasons why agents fail and or avoid it. And then we're going to jump into my new tool where I will show you exactly how to guarantee success in the farm. But let's keep going. Here's the 5 reasons why agents are failing. Number 1 is 99% of the agents I talk to believe that when I say geographic farm, the first thing they think of is either direct mail, which is expensive, and or door knocking, which they don't want to do. Okay. Number 2, when I say geographic farming, most agents don't want to come off as salesy realtors to their own neighborhoods. Number 3, usually agents will say, well, there's this agent and they have all of the market share. Of course. Number 4, they only look at the turnover rate. Well, I looked at the turnover rate and it's not that high. Tom says it should be 5 to 6%. This one's 4, or whatever they say. Number 5, when they only look at the sales numbers and associate it with listings, a lot of times it doesn't look that exciting. So when you really look at just sales numbers, you're like, oh, why should I do that? Right? There's only 20 or 30 listings sold in that farm. There's a dominant agent. I don't want to come off salesy. Therefore, don't do it. I don't want to do direct mail and spend all that money to maybe get a couple listings, a couple sales. This makes no sense. Sound familiar, everybody? Good. With all that said, how can I today guarantee success in a farm and show you exactly what it's going to take to get 20% market share of the GCI and the sales, right, in a reasonable amount of time, and convert that farm into one of the highest performing assets of your business? How can I guarantee that? Well, I'm going to walk you through my new geographic farm business planning tool. Now, some of you may have noticed that I did a video on this topic a couple weeks back. I have made a ton of edits because I've gone through the tool and the plan with now 50 of my coaching clients all across the country, from, guys who are doing 3-4 million in GCI in some of the toughest markets on the planet, to brand new agents who are going, what is a geographic farm? And I went through with them each one of these steps in the tool, and I've had to make a lot of edits, a lot of updates, and I've gotten a lot of insights. So let's walk through that together right now. Make sure you go down below, grab the link, download the update document. You're going to need it to walk through this video. Maybe pause it right now and do it, print it, pull it up, and then I'm going to walk you through the whole thing step by step right now. All right, so let's dive into this. How to guarantee success in the geographic or a demographic farm, which one I'm working on with one of my other clients right now, by designing and perfecting a profitable marketing model first, and then expanding it to create a long-term wealth asset that's saleable. Wow, that's a bold promise. I get it. So let's get going here. So when you get this document, I'm going to ask you to read the whole thing all the way down, steps 1 through 3, and then I want you to complete a 1-page business plan. And let's get into action. Okay? Once you've perfected the marketing and communication plan and are profitable, then, hey guys, pick the next market and expand and repeat. So let's dive in. Some of you ask, well, how big should the farm be? Look, it's based upon your financial goals, your capabilities, right? I recommend that we get up to somewhere in between 1,000 to 5,000. So there you go. Let's dive in. Step number 1. There's a lot of confusion around the numbers here. So let's just review a few of the basics. Tom talks a lot about total addressable market. And so this is so important for us to understand all that is available in this marketplace. So I'm asking, number 1, what's the total number of housing units? If it's a condo building, how many condos in the building? If it's a community name, La Costa Valley, there was 1,102 houses, single family in the community, total housing units. Okay. Now, annual average number of sales. So we want to get an annual average number of the total sales in this community. I'm saying get it from the last 5 years. So, because 1 year in 2021, I bet you the number's really high. There's a lot of sales. Back in 2020, maybe the number might be a little low. Maybe 2019, it might be kind of the average number. Maybe 2018 might be low. Maybe 2017 was high. If we take the thread line between all 5 of those years, it gives us a very nice conservative average number of sales per year to work off of. Number 2, the annual average number of commission checks paid out. So what do I mean by this? See, a lot of people you're forgetting that there's, for each sale, there's a buyer and there's a seller commission check. Okay, so there's 2 sides that are available, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about that, so we'll just keep going. Number 4, the average annual sales price. Okay, I'm saying take the last 2 years. For most people in the United States, 2021's numbers are going to be really high. 2020 was an interesting year. So if we took a conservative average between 2020 and 2021, we have a nice conservative number. That's the average sales price in the farm. Now, number 5, the annual average sales volume. Okay, so if we take the average number of sales and then we multiply it by the average sales price, we're going to get the average annual sales volume. That's probably going to be a big number. So a quick example of this, I've told you guys this before. In La Costa Valley, one of the farms I lived in, there was about 1,000 homes. There was about 40 sales per year. And the average sales price at that time was about $1 million. So the average sales volume was about 40 million in volume, 40 million in sales. Now, the average sales volume times 5%. What am I talking about, 5%, Patrick? Well, on average in Southern California, 2.5% gets paid out to the buyer's agent, 2.5% on average gets paid out to the listing agent. For my Canadian friends, it's a different commission structure, but there's 2 sides, whatever that is. And then in some of you in the marketplaces, you guys are like, I get 6%. Some of you guys, you're like, we get 4%. Whatever your number is, that's the number. Use it. But we want a conservative number. So now, when I take the 40 million and I multiply it by 5%, ladies and gentlemen, what is that number? Wow, $2 million. Wait a minute, Patrick. What am I saying right here, guys? On average, this is how much money is paid to realtors in the farm annually. $2 million is paid out to real estate agents right underneath my nose? Wow. Guys, when I get agents to see the true amount of money conservatively paid to realtors every single year in the geographic farm, it changes the mindset and the perspective. This is why most agents, like I said, why do agents avoid geographic farm? Because they think it's only the listing side. They look at the total, just the sales. Maybe they look at the turnover rate, and they're not looking at the money, my friends. So this is exciting. Now, I just said, for fun, what's 10% market share? For fun, what's 20% market share of the total annual? So if I took 10% market share of the $2 million in the La Costa Valley farm, that's $200,000 in income to be able to make. If I went to 20%, that's $400,000 that I would be going after to get a percentage of that for my family for just by working my neighborhood. That's pretty cool. All right, let's go to step number 2. So step number 2. What is your goal that you would like to accomplish, and do you have any past results? Okay, so last year, did you go on any listing appointments? Did you go on any listings? Did you sell any listings? Did you have any buyer sales? Did you have any total sales? What was the GCI? For a lot of my coaching clients, maybe they didn't have a farm last year, but they've actually sold a lot of homes in the farm that they didn't even create. So for a lot of you, you actually have a pretty solid track record in a lot of these communities. You actually just haven't really looked at it yet. It's so funny. One of my coaching clients has already made hundreds of thousands of dollars in the geographic farm, but they never even created the farm. Wild. Now, number 2, do you have a bunch of people in the database? And I'm saying we need to set a goal to add people into our database in the farm. This is important. Okay, obviously a goal for listing appointments, listings sold, buyer sides, referrals from the people in the farm, total number of sales and sides, gross commission. And then number 9 is where we need to talk for a second. See, if you're new to geographic farming, first year, all I want you to do is be profitable. That's it. Let's just be profitable in year 1 and get this thing organized. I love what Tom said the other day at one of the big events that he did. He said, what you work on in this year, you will benefit from next year. Guys, that's a geographic farm. That's any really great business initiative. Okay? It's very, very sound advice. Hey, if you've had the farm going in a while, you've been farming for a little bit, then your goal should be 10% market share. And if you're at or above 10% market share, we need to get you to 20% or greater. Okay? Now, we are going to make sure that we have a budget and a P&L for the farm. What is your budget? What's your expenses? Minus your GCI equals your profit. And so we want this farm to be highly profitable for you and becomes a long-term wealth asset. Okay? So in your one-page business plan, we're going to have the numbers, then we're going to have your results and goals, And then now let's get to the marketing and communication options, my friends. This is where it gets interesting. So, very important. I just want to reference the 7 core principles. Before we talk about your marketing and communication plan, let's talk about these core principles. Number 1, Tom has talked about this. Sweat equity means there's things that we can do that is free. Okay. Then there's check equity, but there's 2 types of check equity. There's low cost things, and then there's high cost, expensive things. And typically, direct mail is your highest cost marketing strategy. So what are all the low cost stuff? What's all the free stuff? Super important for us to be looking at. Number 2 is, what are your best skills? What are your best tools? What are your best resources? What are you willing to do? And then what are you not willing to do? Okay. And what's the budget? See, this is where the game begins, my friends. See, when we look at what's free, what's low cost, what's high cost, what you're good at, what resources, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do, now we can go take a look at all of your options. And you're going to see me making an edit live. This is why I had to redo this video. With that said, my friends, we need to also understand what's the culture and the demographic of the neighborhood and community. So there's you, and then there's the community. So when we're going and looking through this list of all the things that you could do, I want you to be like, yep, that's free. I can do that. Yep, that's free, but Patrick, I'm not willing to do that. Yep, that's low cost. I'm not willing to do that. That's low cost. I'd definitely do that. Oh, wow, yeah, that actually would work really well with the neighbors in this community. Oh, that will not work for the neighbors in this community, Patrick. Fine. Okay? With all that in mind, number 4, core principle, geographic farm is not direct mail. Geographic farming is not solely about getting listings. We are going to decide on a budget in advance and stick to it. Now, secret ingredient number 1, to the lowest cost, highest performing geographic farms. Remember, I have studied the best of the best in the world in geographic farming, and I found the secret ingredient. Okay, special shout out to Dave Robles and Jen and Jeff Tackney, who've really been the ones that helped me to understand the secret ingredient. Plus, I've experienced it myself with my great father-in-law Kai in his farm, and I've seen it play out for him too. So I've seen it happen personally. So it's relationship capital. Positive engagements with the owners of the community in which they appreciate you or thank you, see you as a contributor to the community, not just a realtor. Secret ingredient number 1. So my friends, as we're going down the list of all of the options, there's the free, there's the low cost, high cost, there's your tools, resources, what you're willing to do, what you're not. There's the culture and the demographic of the community and the neighborhood. And then there's knowing that this is about how do we make a positive impact with the owners in the community so that they see you as a contributor, not just a realtor. With that in mind. Now, number 2, secret ingredient, to create even more income. Special shout out to Mr. Dave Robles. This is what he said. Dave said, my mindset is to treat my farm as if they were my sphere of influence. And he says, this is the main reason why I've gotten owners in the farm that have referred me to business outside of the farm and or bought and sold with me personally outside of the farm. Wait, Dave's doing business with people getting business from the farm, outside of the farm? Yep. Okay, I've seen this with my father-in-law Kai and Carly. They have gotten tons of referrals from people in the farm who've never even done business with them, but have met them, respect them, appreciate them, and they've referred them to business outside of the farm. That's pretty cool. So, my friends, with all of that in mind, now, step number 3, drum roll please. Here's your assignment. I want you to review all of the options below and pick 2 to 5 items that you believe make the most sense for you and for the community. Okay, so let's go. We're going to just breeze through these. You just guys need to download this and go through this. I've already spent a lot of time on this, so I want you to just think this stuff through. So community events is, I'm saying, a minimum standard 4 times a year. Okay, we've got this utility stuff that are super simple. We've got charity and fundraising options. We've got seasonal holiday stuff, big and small events for the community. Seminars and education is going to be a hot topic for me with a bunch of my coaching clients. We got Zoom. We can do small room stuff. There's so many great things we can be doing. I've got accessory dwelling units, 1031 exchange, investing, tax, trust, financial planners, architects, contractors, designers, economists, chamber of commerce. Guys, there's so many ways we can actually do some quality education for our community between our past client sphere and inviting the farm, in which, again, this just gives you an opportunity to be a contributor to the owners and the community, not just seen as a realtor. Beautiful. Okay. And of course, we should be doing a quarterly and seasonal seminar. Here's the title of your seminar right there, my friends. How to get prepared to sell your home, upgrading, relocating, downsizing, what to do for maximizing profit, reducing stress, and to design your personal pre on the market plan. Okay. There you go. I already wrote the title for you. Just go do it. Okay, let's talk next. At the door, sweat equity, free stuff. Okay, if you have not watched this Andy C. Tom Ferry interview, Andy is amazing. $9 million in gross commissions from geographic farming, outlines exactly what he does at the door. He outlines exactly what he does at open houses, and he gives it to you as clear as day. That at the door market update script is brilliant. You need to listen to it. Check it out. Okay, door drops. Dave Robles does a really cool book drive door hangers kind of program where he's asking people to donate books to the local library. My good buddy Nikolai Glazer does a really cool food drive in his farm, and he's got huge success from that. Okay, he does a lot of that at the door. Okay, is there a walking farm list? Right, I don't remember if there's a Fidelity title app to do this walking farm list, but I think there is. Don't quote me on it. Okay, here's a bunch of other things we can do at the door. Sweat equity, free stuff over the phone. Okay, what can we do over the phone? Around listings and sales over the phone. Using ringless voicemail, slide broadcast, phenomenal strategy. Okay, old expireds and cancel withdrawn from the last 5 years. If there's two, should you know about it? And should you have a plan to go talk to the two people? Yes. Why wouldn't you? This is your farm. Okay, absentee owners and non-owner occupied over the phone and or ringless voicemails. Hello, no brainer. I've talked a lot about this. I've done like 3-4 videos on my YouTube channel. Please check those out. Obviously, if there's any for sale by owners, obviously if there's a for rent in your farm, you should go on Property Radar and do a lookup and call that owner and say, do you want to rent it or do you want to cash out on the 20% equity appreciation that you got this last year from 2020 to 2021? And they're like, wait, I got 20% equity? You're like, yes. Instead of renting out, would you like to sell it? I mean, it's the simplest phone call ever. Double check if you check your Zillow for rent, if in your marketplace you've got a lot of Zillow for rent activity, then you need to set yourself up on a little email alert in the farm. Okay, super important. Next, open house, sweat equity, my friends, free. You better have a special invite to the neighbors and or some neighbors welcome signs, because when you do the open house, your goal is to get as many neighbors to come over them, love on them, make them laugh, play with their kids, make them like you guys. That's all you need to do. You don't need them to sign in. You just need them to be like, wow, that is the coolest, nicest, sweetest, best, most professional, most fun realtor I've ever met. That's all you need to do. This is your farm. These are the owners. These are the neighbors. You're going to be marketing to them for the next 10 years. All you need to do is make a great impression, pre-plan that stuff in advance, because when you get that first listing and you miss the opportunity to get 5, 10, 15, 20 of those neighbors over, you are dropping the ball and slowing down your progress. Now, letter C. I've made a lot of money from this right here. This other brokers' listings, especially vacant, out-of-area agents, boutique brokers, or property managers. Guys, this is a listing in my farm. I'm looking at this listing. It's vacant. It's some random agent. They're not my brokerage. I called them up. Okay, and here's the script. My script, and I didn't write it down, but here's the script. I basically said, hey, congratulations on a great listing. Right? I'm Patrick. I'm a realtor, and I live in the neighborhood. By the way, if you need anything, feel free to give me a call. Happy to help out. It's my neighborhood. And if there was any opportunity for me to do the open house, I would be thrilled. I would be super appreciative, respectful to you, respectful to the seller, and I can be a great advocate for the neighborhood. Is there any opportunity for an open house? What's your schedule? Now, guys, what you're most likely going to hear is you're going to hear these guys go, well, I'm doing Sunday. And your response needs to be, that's great. Can I do Saturday? And if it's a vacant property, they're most likely going to go, I can't see any reason why not. Man, in some of our marketplaces right now, to get the first Saturday open house is an amazing opportunity. A, for you to meet more neighbors, get more signs out for free in your neighborhood, and B, you pick up the buyers that are the most motivated to buy in your neighborhood, your farm. You pick up those buyers and then go sell them houses in your farm. See, I've made so much money from this, it's crazy, guys. Okay, next, let's talk about direct mail. Of course, the owner occupied. Of course, the absentee owners. Right? If you knew the absentee owners, you might also be able to target the renters. If you haven't watched my high probability sellers, the trade uppers, the retirees, and the seniors, you should watch that video. I've linked to it right there. Okay? New, old, expired, cancels, withdrawn. What are we doing with them? The I have a buyer letter, right? Have you checked EDDM, USPS yet to see the mail routes, to see if there's a cheap avenue for you to do direct mail? A lot of my top agents are doing newsletters. Shout out to the Tom Ferry ecosystem. There's a great training this week on how to do newsletters. Okay, what's your postcard cost? What's the frequency that makes the most sense? Now this, my friends, is the one I'm excited about. QR codes. See, The adoption of the QR code since COVID has been off the charts. I never even used a QR code until COVID, and I went to a restaurant and I was like, where's the menu? And they're like, use the QR code. And I'm like, I don't even know how to use the QR code. Then all of a sudden I grabbed my camera and put it over, and voila, there I was on a landing page. QR code to a landing page. Oh my gosh. In our direct mail campaign, could we do a QR code to a landing page and show those owners a video? Could we drop them to a white paper? Could we drop them to a market report? Could we drop them to the latest blog or some type of cool thing that you did for the community? Sounds like an awesome strategy for me. Now, should we figure out what your cost per piece delivered is so we can really pay attention to our budget? Yes. What's going to be our monthly and annual cost for our direct mail strategy? What is that? Just listed, just sold, open house, under contract, just sold templates designed. If you haven't watched my video I just did on that, I just outlined that all in a video. I'll put a link to that video right here for you guys. And then, of course, my new favorite thing that all my coaching clients know I'm excited about is doing a quarterly seasonal seminars for the farm. Why are we not doing a seasonal quarterly seminar inviting our past clients, our sphere, and our farm to come talk to us about how to get prepared to buy a house and how to get prepared to sell your house? Doesn't even make sense as soon as I said it out loud. Okay, so with the direct mail, no brainer. We can get you 2, 3, 4, 5 people who raise their hand and come do a Zoom session with you, come set it up in your office. Just, guys, make a limitation. Do it in your office. Hey, limited seating. There's only 7 seats available for this, the fall, how to buy a house event that I'm going to do. The fall, how to get your home ready to sell event that I'm going to do. There's only 7 seats available. And you get 15 people that registered and only 5 people showed up. Oh, darn it, Patrick, only 30% of the people showed up to my event. Only 5 people showed up to your event, but you got 10 other registrants of someone who raised their hand that said, I wanted to learn more about buying and selling. Guys, what an opportunity. Let's keep going. Online advertising and marketing plan, frequency and budget. The custom audience strategy with Property Radar is off the charts if you haven't figured that out. Nextdoor is doing really, really well. Zillow for your zip code is very, very successful. Pay-per-click leads for your community, very successful. All of the SEO videos, living in, pros and cons, moving to, buying in your community name, hugely successful on YouTube. Social media organic, get in there, take a look, see what you guys could be doing. SEO content marketing, blog post, interviews, podcast, lifestyle content, market update stuff, load it up on your website consistently for the next couple of years and enjoy high rankings in organic for free leads from all of your efforts. Of course we should do that. Email marketing, automated market reports, right? Should we be focused on collecting emails with everybody in the farm and getting them set up on high value, relevant market reports? Shout out to Sierra Interactive. That was a great market report. I could set up a custom market report for people. Guys, HomeBot, whatever. That's free. Get in their inbox, right? Digital, educational seminars via Zoom, right? And then, of course, the quarterly seminar advertisements through the digital online stuff. Okay, number 7, networking. Right, the networking plan. What else can you be participating? One of my great clients is killing it with his BNI group. Literally, shout out to Wes Estes in Virginia. Literally, we started working with his BNI group and working on how to get more referrals. He's crushing it this year. And then I was like, gosh, Wes, why don't we do a quarterly educational event and invite our BNI network, Business and Network International, invite 1 person per quarter and host an educational event sharing great quality education from someone in your business network. Boom. Wow, now we're serving the farm and he's dramatically increasing his recognition and referrals from the people in his business network. It is going to crush it. I'm so excited for Wes. It's going to be so fun. Okay. Last but not least, I have the buyer template. Why I want you guys to be so good at open houses because I want you guys to get the buyer and I want you to be sending letters, hitting doors, and doing voicemail drops. Now, imagine the community's like, wow, this person's doing education. This person is doing these great little events, helping us out. This person is listing lots of properties, constantly doing open houses, and they constantly have buyers for the community. Guys, at what point does the community just say, geez Louise, this is the agent? They're not only a great person, they're a contributor to the community, they're super active and busy, and they're everywhere. Hello, can you see why I'm saying I can guarantee you 20% market share? Now, last but not least is traditional advertising, right? So shout out to Mr. Andy C, because Andy basically is like, look, after I've made, I'm making $9 million from geographic farming, he has the budget to buy every advertising strategy he could buy. Because he's got the budget to do the billboards and the grocery stores and the magazines and the newspapers and sponsor the kids this and sponsor the church that and, donate to the nonprofit and give money to the whatever, because he's got the budget, guys. But so when you get the budget, that's when you'll do number 9. So I hope this was helpful. I know that this was probably the single longest session I've done in a long time, but it was worth it. Can you see why this geographic farm document guarantees success? Congratulations making it all the way through. Hope you have an awesome day.